walking in very much first.
Yes, meow.
And we're live. Hi, welcome back to Giving Me Very Much a Podcast. Today we're talking about mental health. And what the fuck are you doing? Are you good? Taz, let them know what they should do below.
Yeah, so you guys are gonna want to like, comment, and subscribe, and
You sound like the intern. You sound like the studio intern. Yeah, you guys should
you guys can like, comment, and subscribe for more. And comment. The comments are rated in.
I can't. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and also click that notification. Words, English. Notification bell, so you notify when we upload. Always, every Friday, we'll be up in your screens in the little interweb. Period.
Yeah, bi-weekly, honey, just like your paycheck.
Just like just like your food stamps. Period.
Well.
Every first and fifth of the month. 15, 13, whatever. We're there for you.
So yeah.
Yeah, welcome to another episode. Welcome to, I don't know, this is kind of the first episode.
Yeah.
Reset button. And we're in person now.
Yeah, guys, this is after December 12th, 2012. So, the reset.
Oh, I was like, where's this going? I got it. Yeah,
we're just living in post-world end, so.
Okay, I got it. I was like,
dystopia.
I had to do math. Oh, I don't want to do math. What does it mean? What does it mean? But yeah, make sure y'all. The dog is doing weird stuff. But anyway, I have a dog. I just got him. His name is Coco.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, and I was like, thank you for coming and watching. If you are watching, thanks.
Thank you guys for staying. For those of you who are loyal subscribers,
Yes, our 16 subscribers.
Period. That's 16 more than last year.
No, literally, quite literally. Before we get into the main swag, which is mental health, let's talk about what we all woke up to this fine Monday morning. It is Monday, as the time of this filming, it is Monday, August 23rd. Yeah. And we woke up to Boosie.
Wow.
The rapper. I don't know where he's from because I don't really care. But he had a Breakfast Club interview talking about Lil Nas X, and he had threatened to beat him up or some stupid shit like that. And they brought the topic up at his interview at the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, and that other guy.
We stand the other guy.
Yeah, we stand the other guy. That's not shade.
That's not shade.
DJ Envy.
DJ Envy.
Yes.
There's a lot of people in this world. Almost 8 billion of them. So.
I forgot one. Damn.
Oh my God.
Relax.
It's about damn time.
Okay. Curse me out.
All right.
That was my phone, y'all. But yeah. You wanna?
Yeah. So I just thought it was real interesting because I'm a very neutral person for the most part. So I took the time to really listen to the foolery and try to decipher for myself. And it was just not foolery. Yeah. So my thing, to all the he's and they's in the world, we gotta do better. I won't say the she's because the she's.
Oh no, the she's
they need to do.
Hi, from this side, too, as a she's needs to do better.
Do their thing over there. The he's specifically, those identifying as he's. We gotta do better, y'all, because this is not cute. So, Boosie decided to not only back his comments, but back them with more comments instead of any sort of actual commentary or perspective.
What he basically was trying to do was use children to guys his homophobia. Like, oh, you don't want, he said, oh, and this is paraphrasing, I don't want the kids to see naked people. Right. Da, da, da.
And they asked him, they were like, so you wouldn't want anybody even if...
Stop. Hello! Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, so he's like trying to defend himself, like, yeah, you know, even if they were a straight person, I'd go rip him off stage. They're like, well, what about the women? Women can be straight too, obviously. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. So they asked him, well, what about the women who get up there and do their thing? And he was like, well, I need my strippers now. And I can't talk about strippers. I don't know. Okay, this man's homophobic. Let's move on. I'm sick of him being pushed onto me. Let's be honest.
His straight agenda
is being pushed onto me.
And I'm sick of it. Honestly, we're like, he openly said to the entire public, which is the world now because of the internet, that I'm going to say allegedly because I don't know if it's true or not, he's talking outside his ass. He hired a woman to have sex with his minor child.
No.
And because he's a boy, he thinks that's okay. And then he wants to talk about we need to raise strong black men. That's not, you don't have your child raped to raise strong
and
black men.
That's my thing too, is because once again, let these specifically genitalia had been reversed, this would have been a large public outcry.
Yeah.
Let's not even, you could have whatever ideals you want to in the world, but you will not sit here and tell me that it wouldn't be different.
If you're gonna, you have to protect black boys.
Regardless,
and that's been the problem. And then they try to say that you can't be he's trying to say like you can't be a strong black man if you are gay, which that does not make sense because you being gay has nothing to do with your gender expression, who you identify as. It also
has nothing to do with your life scenario.
Exactly.
And the things that you go through.
And you know what? That's what the black community does. They try to say homophobia is bad for black men because of the world around them. Mm-hmm. Yet you are the world around them.
Yeah.
You're included in that. You are the environment. This child is not traveling to Europe after he turns 10.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When he goes to school, he's going to school up the block.
Yeah.
The next city over.
Right.
So that means his environment is very readily to him and you're a part of that. Yeah. So your homophobia is not helping him.
Not at all.
It's hurting him.
Can I tell
and he's going to take that into the world
mm-hmm.
and release it either with anger or he's going to exploit himself.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't feel right about himself.
Mm-hmm. That is so very true.
And you're not protecting him by doing that.
And also, let's just say allegedly that is the path that this person is going to go down. It means that he'll also won't have, if he does get into some shit, he's not going to have the courage to talk to his father about it.
He won't have anybody to talk to.
He won't have anybody to talk to.
Because he doesn't have community. His community, which you're supposed to be protecting him from, is the people that are actually hurting him. Mm-hmm. So this whole we have to raise strong black men is the same rhetoric y'all use for black women. Mm-hmm. You have to raise strong black women, and we have said what the problem with that is. Yeah. Because we're human beings.
Right.
We're not machines. And you need to stop treating black boys like they're machines and they don't have fucking feelings.
Men in general.
It's toxic masculinity doesn't work for any fucking body.
Nope.
Especially men. And men do not see that because they're stuck in the same pattern of I need to be a man, blah, 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 blah. Like, come on, grow up.
Yeah.
That shit is so old.
Yeah.
And using gay men as a scapegoat is why you don't feel full of a man. No, it's because your dad left with the milkman. He left before the milkman. Well, that's why you're upset.
Come on.
Come on.
Don't talk about it.
You're upset because your dad left before the milkman.
Come on.
That's why you're upset. He went to the liquor store and didn't come back with milk, chips, cookies, nothing. That man disappeared. He's in Atlanta now.
Yeah. 2
kids, wife, and she's not even black. She's Latino.
Well, that hits a little too close to home for me, but...
Wait.
Well, anyways, we're gonna key after, but...
Wait.
Hello. Anyways.
Not your dad. Wait, because my dad's in Atlanta too. Wait!
No,
you know what would be mad if they knew each other? What if they were bonding over not having a son?
I would fuck my dad up. I would have to fuck that man up. And I don't fight fair, you know that. Because I'm small. I don't fight fair at all.
Oh, Lord.
I'd have to fuck him up. Sir, no, because this motherfucker... We don't keep
Let's move on.
after.
Let's go. Daddy issues. Anyway.
Yes, I don't agree with anything that this man said. And it's also, once again, the sense of like... So this, okay, I mean, I know we have to talk about mental health. We're going to get into that. But this kind of ties into that whole issue, not to bring it back up, but the baby and his situation.
Oh, but that's why they were asking him the question of,
right?
Because it let one thing lead to another. He talked about it on the interview. He was like, what did he say? They brought up the baby, and it was like, oh yeah, like with the baby, like rappers used to say like in the club, oh, does anybody have AIDS? If you don't have AIDS, make some noise. And Charlamagne was like, yeah, we used to say that, but this is a different time.
Right.
Like, niggas are not playing like that. And the problem why it's different because it was a problem.
Yeah.
We addressed it, and we found a resolution.
But
Stop
that
being
was my
homophobic.
issue, too, with the black community.
There's issues.
Because...
I love y'all, but
when
y'all get
I
my
looked through the
motherfucking
comments
nerve.
on everything, when the baby was getting canceled left and right, and I looked through the comments on every post from everything he got dropped from, and all of the black specific concentrated pages that are on there, most of the people in the comments were, well, they're doing the most, they need to stop canceling him, he didn't even do that much, this, that, and the fourth. And I'm like, wait, hold your horses now, because let this have been an issue not about homophobia but about race, and it would be a completely different issue. You can't get mad at the gay community for holding their oppressor to their own standards and the black community for not doing the same for themselves. Let's start there. Just like Elton John and Dua Lipa and all these celebrities who stand with the LGBTQ plus community and whatever else letters we have out there, and they all stand with us, and they said denounce the baby, is the same way that T.I. could be doing that with BLM. It's the same way that Oprah could be out there doing that with BLM. It's the same way that Travis Scott, I'm just naming people, but I mean, I threw Oprah out there because she's influential, but a lot of black rappers specifically is what I'm saying. When it comes to our issues, y'all are quiet. Y'all are the ones rapping saying nigga this, nigga that. Y'all are the ones rapping saying degrade women because they're all hoes, sluts, and bitches. Y'all are the ones degrading homophobic people, saying that we're all just queer sissies. Y'all are the one degrading everybody else. But then get mad when somebody holds one of our own accountable. We can't do that. We can't do that. And it only takes me to see that because I'm black and gay. They're not going to see it because they're not homosexual.
The problem is people feel like you have to be it in order to understand it, but that's not the case. It's called being human.
Yeah, just like the pandemic when it was the China virus. It was never going to infect us. We're not Chinese. We're American. We're European. It's never going to come here. That's a worldwide pandemic. You see what I'm saying? This was 2 years ago, Jada.
Yeah, but every time
know that it's pathology, but
here's the point. Every time I hear something about some gay shit, it's never gay people.
Yeah.
It's always the same three niggas. The baby, the Boosie nigga, and the T.I. nigga.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Are you trying to say something? Brother, there is community out here for you.
Also, rumors about these people, which is really interesting to me.
It's
all alleged.
There is a community for people like you.
Yeah.
Are you DL, nigga? Free yourself, nigga. Nigga, free yourself. Every time I hear about some gay shit,
don't talk about it, be about it.
It's them three niggas.
Yeah.
It's them three niggas. Nobody else brings it up, makes a big deal of it.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares who you're fucking on the side, as long as you ain't fucking my bitch. Nobody cares. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what you got going on with your body.
Exactly.
That's what I'm my bills.
We talked about that when the baby said about you ain't got no AIDS, fuck everybody with AIDS or whatever.
The parking lot was real specific for me.
Exactly.
Real specific for me.
like who hurt you? Who hurt
That's
you?
what I said. As soon as I heard, I said,
who hurt
this
you?
man.
Who hurt you?
Literally, I said, who hurt this? Because I was like, that's really,
Really specific.
I can see just sucking dick or like niggas sucking dick. That's all you have to say. Homophobia. But niggas sucking dick, that's all you didn't have to in the parking lot. Now we have a visual. Who, what, when, where, why.
This man said the scene.
This is what I'm saying.
He said the scene.
What is going on?
And why AIDS out of all things?
We're in a COVID-19 pandemic.
Instead of
That'll
saying
make you die in 2 weeks.
Exactly. Instead of saying
What?
if you don't have COVID, make some noise.
Yeah. You shouldn't have COVID. Everybody should be making noise.
Exactly, but you chose AIDS.
Girl, I was like,
This
I
man
don't
is
know.
crying out for help. He is crying out for
That
help.
part.
So these niggas is gay, and I don't mean that in a homophobic way. I mean in like they're trying to tell us something and they can't get it out quite. But there's a whole community for that. The community that you're criticizing. Because if you ever, you probably know who I'm talking about. Very homophobic, then turned around and turned out to be gay.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
It's always them niggas.
Yes, it is. Came out to me.
Yeah. It's always them niggas.
Yeah.
So you trying to tell us something?
Come on.
Come on.
So, anyways, homophobia is a mental disorder. So, segue into no, I'm kidding.
No, homophobia is a mental disorder.
Well,
It is.
yeah, it's like an obsession. It's like OCD, but for like sexuality.
Hatred is a mental disorder, period.
It's obsession.
Because that takes a lot of energy to hate somebody,
An
be that
unhealthy
fucking
obsession.
angry.
Time.
Be that fucking angry all the time. That takes a lot of energy.
Yeah. And to spew that hate and to like actively go about hating these specific people. Like, that's obsession. Homophobia, racism, classism.
Yes, there's an element of obsession in all
That's
of those
obsession.
things.
I'm obsessed with being on top of you. It's the jealousy shit, probably.
Like the whole Holocaust, that was an obsession. That was
an
weird as
obsession.
shit, too.
Yeah.
With blonde hair, blue eyes, and like now we're obsessed with finding people who don't look exactly like that. When actually blonde hair and blue eyes is a very rare combination.
Yeah.
And you were actually the outlier.
Right.
Not trying to make a reverse Holocaust, but like that's obsession in a weird way.
Yeah.
And the fact that Hitler was Jewish himself.
And the fact that Hitler didn't have
Blonde hair and blue eyes. And that weird ass fucking mustache.
Yeah. The nigga's
And
weird.
people still followed him.
Yeah, to this day.
And people still listen to Lil Boosie like he God.
Yeah. Y'all niggas is weird.
Very.
Yes, honey. We're back. Fresher than ever. Fresher than a clear mind. Speaking of clear minds, let's get into this about mental health.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be expressing some of the pros and cons of mental health. I'm kidding. No, let me bring up my notes before I say something stupid.
You need help.
I need help.
Okay, I'll start. I start therapy soon. I've actually never been to therapy, so this year will be the first time I am going to therapy.
You'll like it. It's really hard the first couple weeks, but you'll like it after that.
Yeah, the processing process. I don't know if anyone knows, if you've never done therapy before, there's a process before you get to therapy where they ask you like very invasive questions already.
Intakers.
I feel like I had a pre-therapy session before the therapy session. She was asking all the details, but I guess that is just to get like a diagnosis of where you're at, if they need to prescribe you any medicine, whether or not you need to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Which provides you with medicine, or psychology just provides you with
Counseling.
Counseling,
and
thank
help on it. It's like external versus internal doctors. That's, I guess, the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, you're. I think you'll like it a lot. Like through my years of therapy and stuff, I will definitely tell you, like, that's the hardest part is the intake sessions, because it's literally like, what is every traumatic thing you've been through in the past your life?
Yes.
And like explain that to me
and
in a few brief sentences.
She also kept probing, like she was trying to get something out of me, and I was like, no, that's it. And she was like, is there anything else that you're in? I was like, no, that's it. I think she was trying to get to like maybe like trigger warning, sexual assaults, things like that. But I was like, no.
I think what I have is enough.
I think I have enough on my plate. Thanks.
Enough trauma.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And I was like, bitch, that's it. Like, ew.
Oh my god, no, yeah, but as long as you, as long as you and your therapist kind of vibe, like, you'll be chill, you know. I know, so I stopped going to therapy last year this year. Like the beginning of this year.
Yeah, last year and this year feel the same.
Yeah, literally. I feel like
still
I'm
feel like
in
it was
2020. Yeah. I hope the decade isn't like that.
Why in our 20s?
Literally.
If this is our 30s, I'll be like, okay, I'm at home anyway.
I mean, I have my house.
I'm at the house.
Like, girl. No, I stopped going to therapy, it's not like I stopped. My therapist felt that I was ready to take control of my life again. She was like, okay, like we're gonna schedule for your last session within the next 2 months. Then it was like, okay, the next few weeks. Okay, next week. All right, next week your last session. Okay, is there
Wait, so
anything?
therapy can end?
Yeah, if they feel that you're doing, because I was in a really good space. Well, I'd say I'm still pretty in a.
But how does that work? Because you have to live life. So will I just sign up again when something traumatic happens?
Yeah,
like that's kind of
pretty much.
See, that's the American healthcare system. Like literally, you have to prove that you're dying in a ditch in order to get some fucking EBT.
Yeah, that's true.
Or some fucking housing.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen those videos of like black kids having their grandparents there and doing like prank scholarships? Like, oh yeah, she had to prostitute. That's real.
Yeah, literally.
That's real.
Yeah.
You have to be a fucking sob story just to get higher education.
Oh my god, literally, that was happening to me. Everything I was going through at the time, and even with the therapist that I saw, I had to put a 10 on a 20 just to get some actual help. At the school therapist, before I was seeing my actual therapist, it was like literally getting any type of help, you have to make it.
You have to be on the verge of killing yourself.
Like, I don't want to be.
How about we do preventive medicine before I get to that point?
Yeah. How about we deal with the problems before they become unsolvable?
And you know what? She probably was like, okay, therapy ends your insurance.
I still had insurance. I'm still working.
That's weird though. Then why would therapy end? I don't feel like therapy ends. You have to deal with your brain every day. You have to look back every day. That's weird.
I wasn't really, I don't know. I felt like it was okay for the time because I was like.
Did you feel like you needed it to end? Like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Because I had been seeing her for like 2 years.
Oh,
and so
okay.
I had been I had been seeing her like right after I got hired at the bank. And because it was really stressful. So I was like, yeah, I need therapy. And then afterwards, like I'd say around the end of last year, like the beginning of this year, it got to a point where it was just like, okay, like everything seems pretty manageable in my life now. I'm not like crying because like this happened to me 10 years ago anymore. Like, no, I'm okay. You know, I guess it got more so to a point where our sessions seemed like I was just telling her about my day-to-day versus like,
okay, let's solve past trauma.
So it was like, okay, like I think we're finally
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
it was like, more like, okay, let's try to go through what you went through and break that down and how it's affecting today, and then let's give tools for that.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
For me, it was more so like she helped me through a lot of the stuff that I was already going through that I needed to process, but she was more so just giving me like the tools I need to kind of help myself when I come to more like issues in the future. Because she told me, she was like, you know, like, yeah, like I support you finally graduating from therapy or whatever, but like just know that don't have to not come back. Like, you know, your healing journey is gonna continue the more that.
That's why I was like, therapy in. So like, how does that work? That's where I got thrown out. Like,
she was like, you know, you can always reach back out and stuff like that, but I feel like you're okay for now. And I was like, okay, like, you know. Then of course everything happened with my moving situation, but
yeah,
girl, girl, but you know, I mean, honestly, like I think it's a really good thing. Now, I will say psychiatry versus therapy, for me personally, like I said, I have bipolar disorder, I have bipolar depression, and for me, like, it's really, I wouldn't say hard, but it's definitely like an added barrier on managing my day-to-day life.
Right.
Making sure that I'm not having a manic or depressive episode, and making sure that I'm like, if I'm out shopping, it's because I actually wanted or needed to go shopping, either one of those, and it's not because like, oh, I came into some money and now I'm on a spending spree because my dopamine is just all the way up here and I'm doing what I want to do. Yeah. So it's stuff like that where I was just kind of like, when my therapist did offer me to like speak to a psychiatrist, especially because this was before I was doing my own therapy. This was while I was doing government assisted therapy and stuff with LA County. And I didn't necessarily want any of their doctors to have that much power over my brain chemistry, especially just finding out or just being properly diagnosed with bipolar disorder. It was kind of like, no, let me figure myself out first.
Yeah, let's try a holistic method.
Yeah, because you also have those trial periods and stuff that you have to try out the different because this is what my roommate told me. Yeah, she was like, her psychiatrist actually had her on the wrong medication because he gave her the wrong diagnosis for like 8 years.
8 years?
Yes. And she was like it was her family doctor though. So they've been going to him for like 15 years. And so that was the thing, was she was like, they don't go to him anymore, but he started jacking up her mom's medication because her mom has a bunch of like medical issues too. And it was just like a lot. And I was like, oh my God, like that's so
malpractice. What the fuck?
No, literally. And you know, that's my thing, once again, not to bring the vaccine into it, but like with the whole medical industry and stuff, and when people are like, yeah, like there's no point
there's
in
a lack of trust.
It's that, you know, when you look at things like the Tuskegee experiment, or when you look at things like the different experiments that our government has run on, like not just minorities in this country, because yeah, that was all black people, but like they've even done it to college students, you know, and just painted it off as another college thing that you'll get credit for, and we'll even pay you for it. But they were fucking with these kids' heads and shit, you know. It's all types of shit out there that they can, because that's the thing, is it's just having that power over people's bodies. That's what people don't break down about medicine, biology, like
they can flip somebody's life upside down, and
like permanently.
Yeah, especially with someone's brain.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff
that's after you're an adult, that's pretty much it of your development. So if you fuck that part up, that's it. Yeah. It's not gonna come back.
Right. That's why I was like, I was taking my time with this whole thing, because I was like, I've had my own issues with like the medical industry and stuff, and then the stuff that I've read upon it and looking at history, you know, like it's some things that, once again, I feel if they're just better about tackling these problems as the government, your sole job is to deal with the people,
and their process needs to be more refined and informed.
Not just that, but they need to bring more people on that have a better say so, because like I said, we're constantly hiring these Yale and Stanford graduates
who
but
are
nothing's
only in it
getting
for money.
done because they have a tuition to pay, unless they come from money. And they paid their way through college.
I mean, that's most of them.
Look at Lori Loughlin.
Jeez. That was some bullshit. Then try to go with the red table talk and be like, I learned a lesson. Bitch, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Shut
Exactly. Yeah, support black business. Shut up, bitch. Anyways. I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of issues that go on today that tie directly hand in hand with mental health, especially in a country that doesn't have universal health care. There's so many barriers around it, and you can't wonder, like, that's my thing, is you can't wonder why everything's so fucked up when literally everything that's supposed to make things better is fucked up.
But the thing is, it's not that hard.
It's not.
Like, if people pay taxes, then put it into the things that we need.
Yeah.
That's what I hate about this government.
Well,
you
that's
can't.
what I was-
They never provide the basic necessities, but you want me to pay taxes?
That's
That
my
doesn't
thing
make sense.
too about them being so fucking stupid. I said this about the California high-speed rail, and I'll say this shit on the air again, bitch. I said this about the California high-speed rail project, right?
Yeah.
Delayed. It's too expensive. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Apparently, there was a small group of about 10 developers to oversee the entire project, a statewide project. This is a project for entirely, like, essentially a small country. 10 people? You see what I'm saying? So of course there's gonna be all of these delays.
That's
There's
like
gonna
a
be
kid-
all of
like
these
a little
construction
high school
issues.
committee. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
exactly. And then they all of it. They didn't plan it out right. All of a sudden, there's all of these certain lines and turns that they have to make to the high speed rail because it's going through people's land. It's cutting off. It's certain infrastructure that they can't
It's
do because of the
because
mountains and
those
shit.
people
I'm
don't
like,
have perspective. They didn't include
look,
the community.
I
They
said,
don't
hey,
give a shit as long as they're getting whatever
if
they want.
they were smart, and I say smart, not intelligent, if they were smart,
Simple
they
problem-
would have
problem-solving
actually
skills.
built the train, gave the people the access to the train so they can shut the hell up, and they would have charged us an arm and a leg on the maintenance. And I would have kept coming because it's maintenance. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
We don't look at the budget sheets. Nobody would have batted an eye. It's that type of shit. I'm like, y'all really sit there and y'all don't even provide the basic shit, but then when people argue, we're in the wrong. When we complain, we're in the wrong. But you couldn't even
This
do what
is
you're supposed to do
America.
in the first
You
place.
have freedom. No, I'm barely getting by
Yeah.
with this so-called freedom.
Yeah. Like 80% of us are probably in poverty with this so-called freedom. But that's okay because, like, we don't have to wear hijabs and, like,
But that's not even mandatory. They're not even educated. You don't have to wear a
Yeah.
hijab.
Exactly.
If you're going to talk about something, be somewhat educated on it.
Yeah.
Like, your opinion doesn't always take you far.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
this is a podcast and we give our opinion about things, but best believe these are coming from actual real experiences.
And best believe we will
And we
clarify that
read.
they're opinions, and if they're facts, they will be facts. Like, I'm no stranger to being like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right.
Let me come back to you because I can't speak on shit I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna, what?
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, the access to mental health is trash.
Sad. It's dwindling too.
It is. I mean, it's been dwindling since what president shut down all of that was Bush, right?
Bush?
Who shut down
All the
mental health
facilities and stuff.
facilities, and now there's a bunch of people on the
I think
street,
that was
and
Bush.
that was just like a spiral after a spiral
Somebody.
after spiral, and now we have hella homelessness. Speaking of homelessness, let's talk about how homelessness homelessness and poverty ties into mental health.
Firstly, this goes to anybody out there who lives in a city, county, or state in the United States of America.
So whoever
Let's-
lives in the country.
Whoever lives here, let's stop making homelessness illegal. Let's actually do something about it. I don't know if anyone's ever thought of that before, but like I have a lot of ideas on how we can do something about
Honestly,
it.
it's very simple.
Yeah.
A home.
What do you want me to do, bro?
Housing.
We
if
have
someone has
so
housing,
much
they're no
land.
longer homeless. Who would have thought? Shit. Who would have ever thought?
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that a house eradicates all of
Oh my
this?
god.
Wow.
That's so crazy.
Wow.
So crazy.
So crazy.
Yeah.
That's such a radical idea.
Let's stop illegalizing homelessness when the homeless people have no way to stop being homeless.
That part.
Let's just do that. Okay.
But for me, we've both been homeless. I was homeless as a kid, as adolescents, and you were almost like at almost adolescence as well.
Yeah. So.
The 18,
18, 19.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically still adolescents.
Yeah.
Like if you think
Teenage.
about it, yeah, you're still a teenager, you're still a kid. At 18, 19 years old, even 21.
Yeah.
We're 21.
Mhm.
Still
Still a kid.
don't know shit,
Mm.
but I can drink. I can drink at my mama's house. Period.
I don't need a man card anymore. I can just walk in.
But yeah, like I can personally attest from personal experience saying that poverty I wasn't like for my situation, I wasn't on the street.
Yeah.
Neither were you.
Right.
Like, we got into like shelters and things like
Yeah.
that. So I was on the street. So I didn't experience like hella traumatic stuff, but being in poverty, worrying about where your next meal is coming from, not actually having an actual stable home where it feels comforting and inviting, and like, you know, you'll be here for a while, kind of that feeling of being on the edge and not knowing what's next fucks you up. Poverty fucks you up.
Oh my God, I don't recommend it to anybody. As if like half of the people are.
Yeah, I gave it
But,
1 star
like,
on Yelp. Exactly.
1 star on Yelp, definitely. Poverty is not fun, and I mean that's very true. Like, just the instability of it all, you know, like, it's not even the sense of like, at least now we can have our peace of mind and say whatever the fuck is wrong with my life, at least I can go to bed and deal with it in the morning.
Yeah, that's not how poverty works. You can go to bed hungry, honey.
Yeah.
You have air for dinner.
Yeah. That's true. That is so true. Dream burgers.
Krabby Patties.
Exactly. Come on. It's really, really unsettling. And then when you think about the whole the shelters, like, I mean, I'm not sure what kind of shelter you guys were at, but like my shelter that I got into, like, that was not the application process. Like, they denied people to let me in. You know? So like the other people had to kind of just find
A corner.
their way. Yeah.
sidewalk.
And then I also think about, like, once again, by the grace of God, the universe, Allah, whoever, I was homeless through the pandemic.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah. Right before. Not even a year. Like a year. That shit's crazy to me. I'm like, I literally don't know what would like that. That's why I told you when I was like that whole butterfly effect thing, because of the low income housing. We can get into it. The low income housing from over here. They sent me a thing over on Ocean Avenue. I told you it was like 1,100 or something like that. Low income, all that stuff. But it's a studio. I have a boyfriend and a roommate, and we're paying less than that right now. You
Exactly.
see, like, but if I were still going through what I was going through at the time, that would have been perfect. For me. That's why I'm like, that whole butterfly effect thing is like, that shit's true. Because I would have jumped on that shit.
What kind of things affected you mentally while being homeless?
Honestly, it was other people.
Really?
It was nothing about my circumstance. Well, it was a lot to do with my circumstance, but it was mostly other people.
The fact that you became homeless, or while being homeless?
While being homeless.
Explain.
Yeah. So, while I was homeless and staying at a shelter and everything, we were not able to be at the shelter from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., which is fine. Makes sense. It makes you more productive. However, on Sundays, things aren't open. Especially the college campuses, that every person who lived there was a student. So even the library where I would spend most of my hours was not open. Well, they closed early, you know. And then it's probably been worse now because of COVID. But I would go and I would ride the buses if I didn't have anything to do, because I didn't have any money to just go spending. I don't even have a house, you know. Yeah. So I'm like, I would hop my ass on the 7, or I would hop my ass on the 3, take it wherever the hell it's gonna take me, and explore the city. But what came with that, I'm gonna be honest, it was a really, really cool time in my life because I got to explore and be free. But dealing with the effects of the external people and their own mental health issues and things of that nature, you know, being assaulted and like having to deal with other people who are homeless and things of that nature, like, that's what was the most stressful about it, was how unpredictable other human beings are.
Yeah.
You don't know, and it's not like I can just hop in my car and drive away.
Yeah, you can't go to like, I can't go back home and be sheltered from this.
Yeah, that was just really hard. I mean, I was assaulted like a few times, you know, while being homeless. That's why I'm like, shit, that's probably why I don't leave my house now. It's probably a subconscious thing going on or whatever. I just
self-preservation.
Yeah, I mean, like even the other day, me and my boyfriend, we were out smoking.
I've got a man.
I got a man, honey. We were out smoking down in Venice, and we weren't on the beach, but we were by one of the parks in Santa Monica, and you know, there was these dudes. We were just talking, smoking or whatever. And one of these two dudes got up and they like walked over to us and just struck up a random conversation, but they cornered us it was like a corner gate, and they cornered us by the gate. So we just walked off, and I had to explain to him. I was like, my boyfriend, I told him straight up, I was like, you know, I've been through a lot of shit. Usually when they corner people like that, they're about to rob you or other shit. So that's just some things that, like, you know, on one hand, I probably should know that, but on the other hand, it was like a safety thing to just know that. This is what
a dangerous situation.
Right, exactly.
So you gained some street smarts.
Yeah. I mean,
same. To be honest, same.
Yeah.
Because as I was homeless as a kid, so it made me really independent. I know not to look people in the eye.
Oh my God.
I know where to sit.
Yeah.
As soon as that cornering thing, they'll do that to you on the bus. And I'm a girl. And I've had experiences where I was harassed. And being a kid, like, that kind of sticks with you. So I understand that kind of, because even though I was at school, I got to be at school. So that's probably what kept me from having to experience the wandering and stuff. But you know, I was at school, but I was going across cities to go to school. I took about 3 buses to get to school, middle school. So I took 2 or 3 buses to get to elementary school and middle school, actually. And most of the time I was riding the bus by myself, because my brother by that time was already in high school. So I was riding the bus by myself. That's a lot for a kid.
Yeah.
Taking buses across cities, being alone, being a girl.
Yeah.
Being small in stature. Yeah.
That's a big risk.
I didn't think about it then because it was just like, this is something I have to do. Exactly. But then when I look back, I'm like, that is a lot for a kid to do. Even for my brothers, you know, you never know what's going to happen. You know? But yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes you independent.
It sounds
and
like, girl.
I don't, people say like, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but like, why do I almost need to die? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? Why do I almost need to die?
Yeah.
In order to have this fulfilled life and this personality and persona of being almost like a worthy person, a valuable person, a person of value, I have to almost fucking die. I think that also brings me to another point, like how Black people idolize struggle. And I think that's why Black people also reject the idea of going to therapy. One, because idolize the idea of struggle, like if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And we've done this before, we can do it again. Just because it happened before, it doesn't need to happen now. And then third, not trusting the healthcare system, period.
I mean, that's granted.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I don't need to die in order to be stronger.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's honestly, like, once again, that just goes into, like, this whole thing about the government. I mean, it just ties back into it because this is that central, supposed to be that central form of like anything, you know, civilized and humanity and things like that. I mean, the fact that there's even minority distrust in the medical system as a whole because of all of the malpractices that have happened throughout history, that's a problem, you know. And then you can say like doctors can take all the oaths that they want to, but that's not going to guarantee that like this person isn't giving them 1 millimeter over what their dosage is. Yeah, I think it's really interesting because it's like, I just feel like it goes hand in hand with this whole like, you know, you guys have all these Black things, but what about us? I thought you don't want segregation, this, that, and the fourth, but like, because like, we're gonna take care of us. we're gonna take care of us. And that's just the unfortunate thing about this whole situation, is that like we have this whole, in the Black community, we have this whole stigma around like everything else, but that's because of our consistent history of always being the underdog, right?
Yeah.
And so that's in a way indirectly forcing us to want some sort of bipartisan segregation. Because if you want something done, you have to do it yourself, right? Now. Okay,
so then what's the hesitation with approaching mental health and therapy?
Right. So I think that because we have a lot of Black people going into medicine and stuff, but they're more so going into, which is good, but they're going into nursing or becoming like a medicine doctor, right? I think we need more Black people in therapy and to help destigmatize the therapy that goes on, because I mean, you could even bring it back to how like a lot of slaves were psychologically forced down not to be able to do anything. I mean, they weren't even allowed to read.
Yeah, but that I know this is kind of insensitive when I said it. I was talking about I don't remember, but I was talking about like, why did slaves like murk these niggas, like that ass, like I don't get it, like there's a whole bunch of y'all and like a little bit of them, and like half of them are children, so it's like, why I just didn't murk these niggas? Like, I'm not for the violence, but like it seemed like you would return them favor instead of running in the middle of the night. There's more of you, and it's because of the mental health, like the mindset. They were literally
conditioned,
not to be extreme, but brainwashed in a way.
Exactly.
Which is why I don't fuck with Christianity.
Yeah, and so you have the entire you have the entire community basically reinforcing that whole mindset of we have to do it ourselves, except this thing we can't until we send more Black people to get degrees with therapy and psychiatry. You see what I'm saying? I think that's another thing kind of contributing to that whole stigma. I do understand that though, because we want Black doctors, we want Black contractors, we want Black architects.
That's not racist. No, prejudice. That's just based off of history.
Yeah, literally, this is just facts
written down.
And I'm
that
assuming
white doctors, and it's studied to this day with statistics that white doctors are disproportionately racist and prejudiced towards Black people.
Yeah. And minorities that are non-Black POCs. Yeah. So I mean that the segregation issue isn't an issue. I think it's the issue comes in that we need more representation in therapy
in order for there to be trust.
And we also, since we uphold these rappers and shit to such high standards, they need to be our voices. Since these are the people that we're basing all of our Black excellence and character types off of Jay-Z and Beyonce, they need to speak to. Honestly, I heard something that was, who was that? Puff Daddy or somebody. He made a very interesting point about Beyonce, which was that she is where she is, not solely, but partially because there was no representation like her to be competition. So.
That makes sense.
And she pushed herself to be that queen bee archetype, basically, so that she can solidify herself and do what she needs to do for it, which I understand. But I mean, like, my thing is, if we're holding all of these people to such high standards and we get so up in arms when we're ready to cancel them, why don't we push these people to want to better our society or our community? Like, y'all are so ready to, talk about The Weeknd just moving into a new $33 million house or something. Let that man do his move to his new house in peace. If he's not talking about bettering the community, why does it matter that he has his house?
Because niggas are worried about the wrong shit, and I say that every fucking day.
Yeah.
Niggas is worried about the wrong shit.
Come on.
But back to your point about trusting white people with your health. In high school, I actually tried to go to therapy, and I got a white therapist, and I was thrown. I was like, why would they do that to me? I was like, how would she possibly understand what I'm going through and not report to CPS, like, because bitches are weird. White women overzealous all the time. It makes shit super extra. I remember my little brother, he got hurt in soccer the day before at school, And then he came to school, you know, limping a little bit because he got hurt yesterday.
Yeah.
And y'all saw that. Called CPS. Why? Y'all saw him get hurt the other day. You know, act like my mom was beating his ass. That's why there's not trust.
And that's the stuff
and then,
that like
overzealous. Y'all saw him get hurt, and y'all gonna blow it out of proportion like that.
That's one thing I noticed with those kinds of situations is that CPS, they seem to leave a lot of children in the hands of abusers and take away a lot of kids from good homes.
Exactly.
They seem to drop the ball so many times.
The foster system is
way fucked up.
It's horrible.
Terrible. Appalling.
It's horrible. There's people being trafficked.
They're just
through the American foster care system.
The American foster care system is breeding prisoners to make money off of. If we're being completely honest, they're breeding prisoners to make money off of. They're breeding people to traffic.
Yeah, it's a human.
You don't need a
funnel.
hospital to have a child,
and it's government funded.
Really dark, but it's going on. Really dark, but it's going on. And not enough people are talking about it.
I like how I said I don't fuck Christianity, so Jesus.
No, because what Jesus think, I won't say Jesus ain't got nothing to do with Christianity, but Christians tend to, people fuck up everything is what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything about religion. People fuck up everything.
Yeah.
Point blank simple.
They do too much.
People will fuck up communities. That's why we hate white people. Come on. Girl, mental health. I was like, oh.
It's a lot. It's just like, especially as Black people, and trying to have a conversation to unpack mental health.
Well, it's hard
so many factors of adversity and trauma. It's like, I know I need this, but
I think it's hard for us because we have to strip back not just our own
layers.
Yeah, it's like it's not just
historical
our own
context.
Layers of people, but it's our layers of minorities, which adds extra context to the actual scenarios that we went through. Because 9 times out of 10, let us have been straight white women, probably wouldn't went through half the shit we went through.
Absolutely. There's so many layers to peel back, which is why when I got that white therapist in high school, I was like, I don't think she's gonna get it. I don't think she's gonna get it. And I wanted to feel
the assignment.
I wanted to feel comfortable. What are some alternatives to therapy? Like
finding your coping mechanisms. So like, I know one thing that I like to do when I'm going through it is I like to play City Skylines. It is very, that's why when you were bringing up the whole ASMR thing, because it's very, that mic's still going, right? I mean, these are still going, but like the screen is off. It's a very, very relaxing game for me to play, especially for me to kind of, not necessarily forget that the world exists, but just to kind of teleport into my own world where I can just make everything actually work and be okay. I just think that is such
well, that's a different thing. That's wanting control.
Escape. There's no pandemics in City Skylines.
That's escapism. I'm talking about like alternative, like.
I mean, it's not hard drugs.
It's not crack. No, I mean, like real, like, okay, video games. Okay, that is more of that's a coping mechanism. I'm talking about like alternatives to therapy.
Okay.
Like if you can't have access to therapy, which
a support system.
That's very vague, Taz. Let's get some more specific.
Everyone has. I would hope you would have either a parent or a friend or a cousin or a coworker or a spouse or some other form of human being in your life as a support system. Someone you can speak to about your issues and who will not who will listen when you want them to listen, or who will give you advice when you want advice. Will not fix your problems for you, but will definitely show you and see you the way out.
Yeah.
I think that's one alternative, or at least that's how I've been getting by without it.
Yeah.
My support system.
Exercise can be an alternative.
Releases endorphins and stuff.
Growing plants. You can learn a lot of lessons from plants.
Yeah. I like shit like that. That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna do with my
Apothecary.
Yes, I love that.
Taking care of something helps you take care of yourself.
That's
you learn a lot from taking care of others. A dog. A dog is a good alternative.
Dogs
If
are
you can
good.
afford a dog, find a dog to
Get you a
adopt.
dog.
Get you a dog, get you a pet, a cat. I don't really fuck with cats, but yeah, do your thing.
Oh
A bird, something that can help you. Usually when you get a lot out of taking care of others and giving to others. Something, volunteer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Find something
Friendships,
that makes you
volunteer,
happy.
Cats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Find something that brings you joy without you having to give a whole bunch.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people try to find fulfillment in I don't think the mics are going anymore, but
Yeah, they're going.
oh, they are. Okay, because mine is not green anymore.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you just forget it because this mic is
Cool.
fine. I think that what was I saying? I think that a lot of people, value themselves, all the things that they do.
Yeah.
And that takes you giving up a lot of sacrifice and all that. And they think that, and I do this myself personally, if I put my all into this thing, it'll make me feel better because now I'm valuable as a person. And I think that is a danger zone because you're giving more than you're getting back. And if you're not getting authentic joy and fulfillment from something, then it's not helping you, it's hindering you. So you think you're using your job. That's why I was like, when you were like, I just play a video game, I was like, that's kind of escapism. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just get rid of the problem. It's not actually like going through the motions or giving yourself love in a way. That's why I was like, maybe exercise, a support system, like things where you can feel loved and give love and have that even exchange is something that is healthy. It is a healthy alternative than just, getting on Instagram and playing a video game. Not to shit on your video games. The video games are good. They're stimulating and it's a quiet place.
I mean,
yeah.
It's what I go to after I process my emotions. That's what I was, You kind of want to, if you're not in tune with your emotions, toxic masculinity, if you can't at least cry by yourself, that's a problem.
If you haven't cried in months, you need to see somebody.
Yeah.
It's cool to cry, guys.
Yeah.
It's cool to cry.
Totally fine. That's
Cry.
totally fine. And because that's the thing, not everybody, a lot of people go through shit. Because I'm not even gonna lie, I know I've been through shit, but some people tell me shit and I be like,
damn.
Girl.
Yeah.
So honestly, if you have that strength and courage and you're in tune with yourself enough to at least be like, well, acknowledge that, okay, yes, this is how I feel, and remember that no, this is not how I'm going to always feel, and just be able to, I want to say, be able to have your emotions and feel them without taking them on too much and drowning in them. That's where you have to find that balance for yourself. Even, because even with the support system and everything, you want to make sure you have your emotions at least somewhat in check, so you're not just blasting off on the next person for no reason.
Yeah,
or you're
dumping all your shit on them.
Right, exactly. Because that's that's essentially what therapy is helping people be more in tune and face their problems when they normally wouldn't be able to.
Coping skills. Mechanisms.
Right. So, as long as you can find that thing that helps you do that and move on with your life, ultimately, you don't have to just say, oh, fuck it, it never happened, I'm moving on. No. But as long as you can take the time that you need to process what you need to process, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I think journaling is a good way. It's a good start too. I think the reason I made it through all that stuff as a kid without lashing out on people and self-harming myself was music and journaling and poetry. As soon as something happened, I would take a second, write it down, get it out, because you can't write forever. So at some point the page is full. How much more can you write? and that stops you, and you're like, okay, I just got that out. I just processed it in my own way, and then now I go listen to some Sade, honey.
Yeah.
Moon in the sky.
I keep forgetting about journaling. I used to journal as a kid,
now I
but
forget
then
about
I
it.
stopped because
Same.
my mom used to go through my journal and I'd always get in trouble. So I stopped, and now I kind of don't. And sometimes I will when I really, really feel like I should, but like I probably should more than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was coping better as a child than I am now, to be honest. I think that is because I'm an adult now, and there's a lot more responsibilities on my mind, and I'm not really thinking about like, oh my god, let me have like a midday journal. You know how you see YouTubers and like, take a day in my life, and like, you literally have a camera, you have us follow you with a camera, and you're like, you can do this too. Like, no bitch, I'm not a YouTuber. I have fucking work. Like, I have a real regular life, and like, I enjoy those channels because it's like, it's inspirational. You can grab tools from there, and I just like, it's escapism. Like, if I can't have my own life, I'll just watch yours, right? So, but it's not realistic. Like, I'm journaling and I'm meditating today. Like, that's not realistic for a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, instead of just sharing their story, I feel like a lot of YouTubers start to preach. And I'm like, you should do this, you should do that. I'm like, you're a YouTuber. Like, this is what you do all day.
Yeah.
Niggas got real jobs, real 9-to-5s that don't let up 40 hours a week.
So that they're
side
not
hustles.
in poverty, just poor.
Yeah, ain't nobody thinking about fucking journaling,
Literally.
nigga. Like, I don't got no special journal pencil, nigga. Fuck is you talking about?
Special journal pencil. So for
but like,
real, like,
yeah, like let's
people
talk
have
about
real
that
problems.
because mental health is a good mental health, and maintain homeostasis of your mental health is a fucking luxury.
Definitely.
It's a luxury.
Definitely.
Which is why poverty fucks you up in the head.
Yeah.
It's a luxury to be stably, like, mentally stable.
Yeah.
It's a luxury.
And it goes hand in hand with financial.
Yeah, because the way capitalism works is you trade your time for some money.
Yeah.
And what you need is time to yourself in order to actually process what the fuck you're going on. That takes time.
Yeah.
And you have to have time out of your day in order to deal with that.
And if you're spending
Which is
your time
also
helping yourself, you're not spending your time making money.
Exactly. Which is also another point that I've heard black people bring up. Is like, I don't got time for that shit. Like, I have bills to pay. And that's
valid,
a fact.
but
That's a valid fact. But also, when you go into your home and you have these traumatic ways of raising your children and dealing with things, you gotta address that.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, I don't have time for that shit. I got bills to pay. That's a problem. But it's also a societal issue, the fact that your mental health, positive mental health, is a fucking luxury. And then you have social media on top of that.
Yeah. Oh my
Telling
god.
you, you're fucking broke.
Yeah.
Like, you're broke because you don't do shit. Niggas are working 40 hours a week and still can barely make friends.
Yeah.
And I'm broke because I don't do shit?
Yeah.
That's a slap in the fucking face.
Uh-huh.
That's why people are fucked up in the head.
By a bunch of bitches who
don't do shit all day, but go on the phone and tell you,
give you $1.29.
and people feed into that shit like, yeah, I am broke because I'm lazy. No, you work 40 hours a week, 3 kids,
Yeah.
no help. You're not lazy.
Yeah.
You just don't have the same luxuries.
Mm-hmm.
They're on a phone telling you you're fucked up because you're broke and you're broke because you're fucking lazy. No, I'm broke because the system is fucking broken.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not fair. That's why I be logging out of that shit.
Yeah.
That shit, I hate that shit. You're broke, blah, blah. Everybody's fucking broke, nigga.
I live in America.
I hate that you're broke rhetoric. Like, bitch, I'm not broke.
Okay.
I'm struggling. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Help. That's why I be logging out of that shit. That shit is stupid as hell.
I told you. It was like, I don't know why we need to know that The Weeknd just moved to LA. I thought he already lived here. Everybody lives here.
I thought he lived here.
That's what I'm like, I thought all these people lived here.
Oh no, he made a song about leaving LA. But now
But then bought a house. Yeah. Right. That's what I'm like, it doesn't make any sense that this is news.
Look,
We need to be fixing our own community.
niggas be worried about the wrong shit.
The wrong shit. I mean, hey, all you. I mean, but that's our society, though. BBLs, get a bag, get a Birkin, get a bag.
Bitch, you're unhappy because of the way you look. No, I'm unhappy because I don't have access to healthy foods, and I have to eat this because it's down the street and it's 2 miles away to a fucking grocery store, and I don't even have a fucking core. And when I do get to the grocery store, it's fucking food for less. Food for less is fucking trash. Food for less is fucking trash. They give you the hand-me-down, nasty ass shit.
Yeah. Terrible. Terrible.
I'm stress eating.
No, because I mean, I'm just like, this shit makes no sense. We live in that type of society where they're like, it's the capitalistic shit. It's the hyper capitalistic shit, if I shall correct myself.
It's so stupid that black people are preaching this shit too. Like, did you just couldn't pay your bills 3 months ago?
That mentality that it's the delusion of the systematic part being gone from the racism, because when black people get money, they're all of a sudden not
if
black.
I can do it, so can you. Bitch, this ain't ICDC college. This is real life, nigga.
Yeah.
Like,
Come on.
I'm not on the couch. I'm hustling.
on.
Niggas got, talk about, have you noticed there's a lot of videos about side hustles? Like, damn. Already got one job.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not rich because you don't have multiple streams of income. That takes work. That takes time.
Yeah.
You have to have time to do that.
You do.
You have to have time to
Day
develop
trading
and
is
plant the
con-
seeds.
Like,
That shit is con man shit.
Come
These
on.
people are robbing you of your money,
Scammers.
trying to sell you a fucking side hustle. Fuck that side hustle. Let's have a revolution and fix this shit.
Yeah.
Because we're all fucked up in the head because of it.
Literally.
And now we're all falling into this hamster wheel cycle of, if I work harder, I will feel better and I will do better in life.
When
Lies.
you're constantly working harder and you're not feeling better about yourself and you're not getting better.
That's like, working a 9 to 5 is asking, would you rather be hit with a pound of bricks or a pound of feathers? The bricks is the job and the feathers is the payment that you get.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a feather in the wind? Fleeting, child. Fleeting. It may weigh the same, but it's not gonna have the same impact when it slaps you in the fucking neck.
That's true. That's true.
That's what people don't get.
That shit is crazy.
Your time is very
You're
valuable,
trading
and
all
it's
your
very
time.
limited. And that's where that existential dread comes from.
Yep.
Why even fucking try? That's why you have some homeless people. I get it. Why try
Why?
when you actually don't? Homeless people are smart.
Yeah.
You don't have to live like this, and they're proof that you don't have to live like this.
Yeah.
They're living proof. They may be a little on drugs and crack. They're proof that humans literally don't have to live the way we live, at least here in this American society, in the Western
you don't
society.
even have to. You can take it a step further and be like, look at bitches in the Nordic countries.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
don't have to live like this.
Australia, same.
They're racist.
They are racist, but they have the same kind of Western ideal structure of a government.
Yeah.
But it's not as hard. Like,
New Zealand.
they give them healthcare because they pay for it.
Yeah.
It's my money. I need it now,
We
bitch.
should have just been a Commonwealth country at this point because this shit is stupid.
Honestly, that probably would have been
That probably would have been for
way better for black people.
Honestly.
Honestly, if we were part of the UK,
Yeah.
probably be way better for black people.
They were actually trying to get the slaves to rebel against the Americans when the British people were going against the Americans.
I would have joined. That probably
And
would
a
have
lot
been
of them
way
did.
better for us.
A lot of them did. That's where all the black Canadians come from.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah, girl.
I forgot what they're called, but I read about it.
Yeah.
I read about it.
Yes. I'm like, this shit is crazy. I don't know why they're so dedicated. I don't know. Because I was explaining to my boyfriend the other day. I was like, it's just our society today is really interesting to kind of look at from all perspectives, because it's a society that was built off of the backs of minorities, but now they've extended these laws to fit minorities, so now everybody's poor.
Which is why your degree doesn't mean shit either.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing sucks. I hate the whole thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, any conclusion, America will fuck up your mental health.
America sucks.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Okay, well that's the end of this episode. We've unpacked a lot because mental health is
everywhere.
A lot.
Literally.
And so many layers. Thank you for watching this episode.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
That part.
Comment, especially.
And click that notification bell so you're notified when we upload. You can also follow us on our Instagram at GMVMAP, the acronym for giving me very much a podcast. And you can follow us on our personal socials, JaeChi and Saint Mora as it just sounds, Saint and Mora, Mora for Mora. We love you guys so